Okay guys, sorry about that. I was trying to do some fancy camera work and so I could see y'all as well as show you my budget. And I'm gonna have to get that fixed for the next live. Scott, can you hear it now? Scott! Do I have audio now? Okay, sorry guys, I have to yell at Scott in the other room. Alright, so I was trying to do some fancy camera work. It did not happen this morning, but that's okay. That's what I get for trying to learn something as I go. So, sorry about that kind of false start there for a second. So I'm going to, because I can't see my comments and stuff as if my phone is looking at my budget. So let me get this set up on my computer so I can kind of read through comments. Scott's watching the live and there as well, and he is going to help respond to comments as well. So let me get my computer set up really quick. I had all of this preset, y'all. I worked on this for an hour. I was like, this is going to be so cool and so fancy. But it didn't happen. Okay, so this is our salary for the month. And I'm going to try to make sure that I can see this, but it's kind of out of my viewing right now. Okay, so we've got Scott's regular salary and then his VA money that comes in. So if you didn't see my, oh, there we go, that's better. If you didn't see my, like, life-changing money video, that was where this VA payment came in. And that is this $22.46. So Scott has basically multiplied his income. He's taken his income 150% up in the last couple of months just by getting his VA disability. So we are super, super pumped about that and really excited to get to work with that in our budget. So that for this pay period is going to be $22.46 for the month. And I'll get to see my horrible handwriting. So I'm going to go through and do the first steps of this, which is I do 10% to tithing automatically. So that would be $2.46 here. And then I'm going to take you to the back where we've started saving everything right off the top. So we're saving first and spending second now. So I'm going to take you back over to our savings. Does that sound funny? It's because I'm looking at my camera. Okay, so right now for retirement savings, we're putting 10 to 15%. And I say 10 to 15 because 5% is already going in his, out of his check already. So, but in this particular pay period, this $22.46, that's going to be 15%. So, oh my goodness, this thing is bouncing like crazy. Okay, so $22.46 times 0.15, that would be, we're going to save $337 out of this check for our retirement money. I'm trying to see this myself, but I can't. Okay, so out of this pay period, $337 out of his VA money would go straight to our retirement account. And right now we're doing our Roth IRAs for the year, and then we'll have just and his TSP, which is like kind of like a 401k. And then you've got what we call our sleeping money, and that's like what we are trying to basically make money while we sleep. This is the money that we're using this year to try to set up additional income streams in our budget. So we've got, right now, most of the sleeping money is going into dividend stocks, or it's going into our Lining Up Ducks fund. So that's, getting all of the products in that we're working on that should launch in the next 4 to 6 weeks and all that kind of stuff. And that's 10%. So 10% of $22.46 would be $224. So out of just this paycheck, we're saving $561. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the other paychecks this exact same way. So we're going to have $24.29 for week 2, and that is Scott's. Y'all, I cannot see. This is a problem. Anyway, we're going to have $24.29 for Scott's paycheck. his regular pay. And so the 10% to tithing would be $242. And then we're going to go back to our savings. Now this one we've already got 5% coming out of Scott's paycheck before we get it. Y'all, excuse my nails, they're awful. So I only need to do 10% of this paycheck. So it would be $242 here. And then an additional $242 for sleeping money here. And this is, like I said, this is our kind of making money. It's our whole goal this year is to try and set up additional income streams for our family. So that would be through dividend stocks or my business, or, you know, if Scott decides to start a business venture, this would be seed money for that, those kind of things. So this is going to be $484 out of that paycheck that's going into savings. Next paycheck is going to be his other regular check. Now, I will get a lining up ducks check around here, around week 3. I don't know exactly how much that's going to be yet, and right now we're not really taking a whole lot of that money into the household because I've got a bunch of stuff coming from other areas. I don't know why my live feed is not working. I can't see any of your comments, guys. I'm so sorry. I need my iPad. I don't know where it is. Okay, so here is week 4 is going to be his other regular paycheck. So it'll be $24.29 for that pay period. And then a $242 straight to tithing off the top. All right, and then after that, we've got, that one's already going straight. We've got 5% already coming out of his check. And the reason why we've got 5% coming out of his check is because we have a dollar for dollar match for the first 5% that we put into his TSP. So basically, we're automatically doubling our money. So we're going ahead and putting that in through his TSP, and we're going to do our set aside for the Roth IRAs, and then for our sleep money. So that's another $484 there. And then now for his drill money. Scott, I need your help, please. Okay. I need you to come get my iPad because I can't, it's not working on my computer. All right, so next one is Scott's drill money. And he, he was drilling twice a month. And since now he's got his VA disability income in here, just use your iPad. Just connect so I can see. I can't see anything. There's a cord right there. He was drilling twice a month to kind of like really bring some extra income in. And you know, when I went kind of through that really rough patch a couple of weeks ago, we really decided that that was not the best thing for our family, that we really needed to be spending family time together, and sometimes the extra money is just not worth it. So so we decided that he's going to start drilling once a month, and so that's what this $840 is. I never know when it's coming in the month, which is really frustrating, so I'll always stick it over here in this extra column for it to do its own thing, because otherwise it really monkeys with my system. So $840 is here, and then we'll put $84 of that into our tithing. Y'all can see this orange very well. And then I won't be flipping back and forth. It's just this very first part. All right, so, and then we're going to take 15% of the $840, which is $126. And then another 10%, which is $84. So that leaves $210 that we're taking out of that paycheck. It's frozen on my computer. I can't see anything. And like I don't even know where I am because of the way the camera's flipped. Okay, so the reason that we've started saving first is the last thing I want to do. Oh, yay, thank you, Scott. You fixed everything. The last thing I want to do is, you know, not have. What got us into so much trouble in the previous years was something called lifestyle creep. And basically every time that we had an increase in our budget, an increase in our income. We pretty much just increased our lifestyle, and that is absolutely not what we want to do anymore. So we are, we're saving first. So what we've done is we figured out how much we need to save per month to get my husband to be able to retire at 55. And that is where we are headed. So that way we can, oh gosh, y'all, I can't think. This is why I edit. That's why we're saving first. So we know we need to save about $2,000 a month, realistically, to get him to retire at 55, which right now is 15 years. And since we started from zero this year, pretty much, that's a lot of money in a very short amount of time. So our total savings for the month of April is going to be 61. Is going to be $1,739. Okay, so $1,739 will be our savings. Now keep in mind we also have 5% of his check going in, so once you add that, it's of our own money, it's $185 twice, and then of the government's money, it's $185 twice. So we're actually saving just under $2,500 for the month of April. And that's all going towards retirement or other ways to build other incomes. Okay, so we do that straight off the top. And instead of spending, so we've kind of shifted our budgeting to where we do a combination of percentage-based with the tithing and the savings, and then everything else is a $0 budget. So let me add up what our tithing for the month is going to be. Is going to be $814. Okay, so tithing for the month is $814. All right, so these are our bills for the month. Let me see if I can speech this up for you. All right, so these are our bills for the month. Our rent for our RV is $475, and that's just the lot and all of our utilities. So we don't have a mortgage. That's why we chose to live tiny. We live mortgage free, and this is the rent for the space that we're in and all of our utilities for the month. And then all of the girls' school is $890 for the month, and they do go to private school. The schools in our area aren't super, they're really not super great. So we chose private school, and we have been super excited about it. The girls just really love it, and I really love it too. So for now, that's where we're going to stay. Our cell phone, it's a little up this month at $200. My cell phone is decided to start crapping out, and because I film all of my videos on my iPhone, I'm having to replace my cell phone. So that is the activation fee for a new cell phone. We did pay for it out of savings. So that's going to be our activation fee for our new cell phone this month. And then we put aside about $55 a month for propane. I don't think that's going to be used all. We'll actually be able to put that down starting in the next month or so. That's just going to end up turning into a sinking fund that we'll use for later because it's getting hot here and we're pretty much only using propane now for cooking. Car insurance is $106, and I was able to get that down from our last year's budget. And then our storage unit is $62, which we're not sure yet if we're going to keep because I've got all of my books coming in, and I don't have a place to put them. doTERRA, this month I ordered a couple of things I was missing because I've used them all, so that was $45, and that's kind of like my happy money. And then our gasoline budget, our gasoline prices have gone up like crazy, so they are going up to, so we moved that up to $375. Okay, because we've got our first month, I want to see how much I've got to work with. We don't take our cash envelopes money out of his VA money. We only do bills, tithing, giving, and tithing, savings, and sinking funds out of his VA money. And that's just because our cash envelopes rotate on an every 2-week basis. That really works for us. We know we get money every 2 weeks, and that kind of works. So let's look at how much he's got left after tithing and savings. So we got $22.46 minus $2.46 minus $5.61. Okay, so we have $14.39 to work with for our bills or those other categories. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of our lot rent out. And then all of the girls' school. Now, we do work off of a month ahead fund. My math didn't work out. We do work off of a month ahead fund. So right now, these just go into our month ahead savings account. So we pay all of this month's bills off of last month's money. So I have all of the money already in my month ahead account to pay all of these bills for this month. And basically, this is the money that we're going to be using to pay next month's bills. So I'm just padding our month ahead fund with this money, and it's going to be from next month's bills. $14.39 minus $4.75 minus $8.90. All right, and so that leaves us $74 on this one, and that's going to be right at what we need probably for our gas, so I'll go ahead and put our gas right there. 74. And that is going to be all for that particular pay period. So for this pay period, we're going to have $4.75 plus $8.90 plus $74. So that's $14.39 of this. So that's going to zero out this particular week of pay, his VA money. All right, so now I'm going to work with our next paycheck coming in, and that's going to be his regular salary, and this comes in from his regular day job. So $24.29, I'm going to go ahead and subtract out what we spent for our tithing and our savings. Minus 242 minus 484, I think. Yeah, 484. All right, so I have 1703 to work with here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do just pieces of our next bill. So I'll do $100 of our cell phone and internet. And then I'll do, let's do 25 of our RV and propane. And then we'll do 53 of our car insurance, 31 of our storage unit. We'll do 20 of doTERRA, and then 150 of our gasoline. Okay. I just kind of split up everything else. That way it doesn't hit one paycheck too hard over another paycheck. So I'm looking right now. About $375 coming out for this pay period. Let me add that up again just to be sure. 100 plus 25 plus 3 plus 31 plus 20 plus 6. Yeah, so $375 coming out for bills out of this pay period. Okay, now we're going to do our cash envelopes as the next section. And I just split these in half. So pretty much everything goes in half. So we've got our oops money is 50. Groceries, we get 300 every 2 weeks. Household spending, we get 200. And that household spending, I used to have it separated out with restaurants, dog food. There were a couple of other categories as well. And I found I was almost giving myself permission to spend that money by having them separated, and we actually have been doing better on our household money now that we're lumping it together because we're being more careful with it. School lunch, the girls' school lunch would be $24 for this pay period, and then our kids' payday challenge. If you have not seen our kids' payday challenge, take a look at that video, which when I get done with the live, I'll go and link everything that needs to be linked. But this is how we're doing our family fun money for this year, and the kids absolutely love it. They're picking their own activity, they're saving their money for it, or not their money, they're saving household money for it, and then once they fill up their chart, then we all go do the activity as a family. So that's $55 for this pay period. They love it, and I'll try to film the next one that we go and do, because they really, really love it. Okay, our pay date challenge. Let's see, what dates do we get paid this year? I mean, this month. I'm looking for a calendar really quick on my computer. I don't know what it is. I think we get paid on the 7th and the 21st. Yeah, I think we get paid on the 7th and the 21st. So we just 7 plus 21. So we get $28 in our pay date challenge, and this is how Scott and I save for date nights. So we're going to do the $7 here, and then the 21 would go over there. That's how Scott and I save for date nights. It doesn't go very fast as far as, but eventually we will have a date night out of there. And then Project Joy. Okay, this is a brand new budget category that I have come up with. One of the things that really always stalled us on the Dave Ramsey program was feeling like as a family there was no extra. So everything went to debt, or everything went to, whatever you were working on at the time, and there just was nothing extra that could bring joy into your budget. And if anybody has struggled with their mental health like I have, as far as with depression and anxiety for a lot of my life, bringing joy into your household is extremely important. So this is our Project Joy, and I have a whole video about it. I think that's going to be my next video that's coming out, where it'll explain it in detail. But for this is literally just money to bring joy into our household. So when I was really kind of going through my tough time a couple weeks ago, I wrote a list of everything that makes me smile or brings joy to my face. I mean, one's as simple as warm chocolate chip cookies. And so this would be the money that if I wanted to make chocolate chip cookies with my kids, it doesn't necessarily have to come out of the grocery budget, but, or if I wanted to take my kids to get ice cream because they love it and I love it, it's one of my favorite things. This is literally a category just to bring us joy every month. And it's not a lot of money. It's only $50, and already, what we've done already with our Project Joy money from last month has just brought so much. I mean, I smile every time I see it. You'll see it in the video next time. So that's $25 for this pay period. And then our personal money, Scott and I each get personal money. And what that is our lunch money, our clothes money, and our MAD money. And even when we absolutely had no money, and I'm talking like we were poor as church mice, we always got a few dollars of our individual spending money. And that just gave us a little bit of freedom to feel like we had something we could do. I could go buy a ball of yarn if I wanted to knit a blanket, or, crochet, I can't knit. Or Scott could, I don't know, he doesn't fish. If he did fish, he could go buy fish and stuff. But something that is just ours, no questions asked money. And this is hands down something that's always in our budget. So it's $70 per pay period for each of us. And then a new category for our budget is health and beauty. I am trying so much harder to take better care of myself. And that includes skincare. I was getting my nails done, but you can see that has flown the poop. But also, this will be stuff for Scott, so like his shaving equipment and things like that. So we added that in. It's always kind of been lumped into our grocery budget, but I never seemed to be able to justify spending the money on it. And if you missed my Am I Cheap or Am I Frugal video, that was kind of a rude awakening for me. So we've got Health and Beauty coming out now, so that's 40. So out of all of these cash envelopes add up to so that's $8.41 in cash envelopes for this particular pay period. Now, and it's going to be exactly the same the next pay period. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the next pay period of cash envelopes real quick. And then, so that's $8.41 there as well. Oh, that was the wrong color. Oh well, you get the gist. Anyway, so that is $8.41. Those are always exactly the same. All right, now, so let's take what we know we've got left. So we've got $24.29 minus $3.75 that we've taken out for bills, and $8.41. Oh wait, hang on. $24.29 minus tithing, $2.42, minus our savings, $4.84, minus bills is $3.75, minus our cash envelopes is $8.41. So we have $4.87 left out of this paycheck, and that's going to go straight to our sinking funds. Okay. So our sinking funds for this particular pay period, I'm just going to write the total down here right now, so $4.87. And now I'm going to allocate kind of what individual amounts, but I know I only have $4.87 to work with. And before I start allocating money, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my budget. That way I know how much I have to work with for each particular sinking funds. I know this may seem a little convoluted, but this is how I do it every month. Alright, let me do the bills for the second paycheck, which is going to be $130, $53, $31, $25, and $150. There won't be any bills coming out of his drill money. One of the things that, if you're struggling trying to figure out how to do your budget and you've got multiple paychecks and everything coming in, I like to assign tasks to each particular paycheck. So for instance, we don't pay bills with Scott's VA money. I mean, we don't do cash envelopes with Scott's VA money, but I may pay bills. We don't pay bills with Scott's drill money, and that's mainly because I can't ever guarantee when it's going to come in. So I never depend on that money. So you won't ever see me do any type of bill money with Scott's drill. Alright, so let's see. Bills for that one is 100 plus 30 plus 53 plus 31. 150. Alright, that's $389 for that one. Alright, so that gives us how much to work with for sinking funds. $24.29 minus $242 minus $484. That's the tithing and savings. Minus bills is $389 minus our cash envelopes is $841. So that gives us $473 to work with over here. So I've got another $473 here. And now I'm just going to figure out how much I have to work with out of Scott's drill money. So out of his drill money, it's $840 that comes in, and so we'll subtract the tithing amount, and then we'll subtract our total savings amount. Gives us a total of $546 to work with from that check. So $546 plus $487 plus $473. Okay, that gives us $1,506 to work with for our sinking funds. Now, because I work from a month ahead fund, I am able to do that $1,506 kind of all at one time, and then just put these deposit amounts back into the month ahead fund as they come in. So if you've noticed in my cash stuffing videos recently, I generally do as much of our budget at one time as possible, and it just makes it a little bit easier. And I wasn't always able to do that. In fact, normally, you know, up until probably this year, I have had to do it every single individual pay period. But now that we've got a savings account and our month ahead fund is a bit ahead, we are able to do, I'm able to do pretty much all of our cash budgeting at the beginning of the month. And I don't have to do anything except for transfer money at the later paychecks of the month, which that has been extremely freeing. Okay, so we've got $1,506 to work with. I'm wanting to put the girls into a couple of summer camps this summer because they stay home with me in the summertime, which can get uber boring if, you know, they are just at home with me all the time. But 15, so we're going to do a little bit towards our summer camps for this pay period. Let's say about, for this month, let's say about $200. You do keep in mind I have 4 kids. So you're looking at, if it's $100 summer camp or like a dance camp or something like that for one kid, I've got it multiplied times 4. Or I know that I want them to go to the nature camp this year, and I think it's going to be like $150 per kid, and then I've got 3 kids old enough to go. So, you know, if you don't have 4 kids, you could lower these amounts a bit. Alright, so I'm going to take some of the most important things first. We're going to do school supplies and fees because I've got a good bit of money that's got to come out of there really fast. So I've got $200 coming out of there. Let me go ahead and get my calculator so I know what I'm working with. So I have this year done my sinking funds different than I did them last year because I am front loading the ones that I need earlier in the year. I'm putting heavily into those. And like Christmas, where I won't need it towards the end of the year, sometimes I'm not even putting money in Christmas at that point. But that's because like a lot of their school supply fees and things like that for their school come out March, you know, February, March, April, like they come out really early in the year. So we're going to say $500 for school supplies and fees. And I've got all of my sinking fund. I know, that way I know what the balances are. I've got their charts. So after those 2, that's going to leave us $806. All right, I know we're going to need some clothes for the girls. We're going to need some summer shoes, and those can be kind of pricey if I can't find them at the consignment store. Our tags and insurance, our RV's tag is not due for another few months, and neither is that. So let's do $100 in car tags and insurance, and then we're going to do $200 in kids' clothes because those shoes add up really, really fast. 200. Alright, so that leaves us $506 to work with for the rest of them. Now, the one thing I do buy quality is our kids' shoes. I have found that if I buy a quality pair of shoes for my oldest, it will get all the way through all 4 of my kids. So, you know, I have a pair of name brand native shoes that are summer shoes that actually I didn't buy for them, that my sweet mother-in-law, their grandmother, bought for them several years ago, and I'm still working my way through. She bought them for my oldest too, and they are going to make it through all 4 kids, and literally all I have to do is throw them in the washing machine and they look brand new. So those have been well worth the investment and the extra money. But if you don't have lots of kids, you know, just one pair of shoes for the summer, you can go with a less expensive, you know, pair of shoes. Okay, so $506 left to work with. Our life insurance, we're going to do $110 for the month because that's kind of a bill that's due. So that leaves us $396. Kids' clothes, gifts. We've got a good bit in this fund already. I think I'm just going to do $50 in this fund because Kate's birthday is going to be in a few months. And Mary Claire, Lord have mercy, we're trying to potty train that child. Maybe eventually. I can't find the right thing for her. Home repairs. We're able to fix something we thought was going to be really expensive in home repairs. we were able to fix it super cheap. So we're going to be able to lower that budget this year, but I'm still going to put $200 in it this month because we've got one thing that's got to be fixed, and it is almost ready to be fixed. We've been waiting on the part to come in. Alright, so that leaves us $146. I'm going to do $50 in car repairs, and then $50 in vet bills. Alright, and that's 46 left. Let's do 46 in swim lessons. Halloween and Thanksgiving. Ooh, our vacation fund. We actually need $100 in there because we've got to go. Alright, so Sophie has got her surgery next week. So we got to stay overnight in a hotel as a family so Scott can drop us off at the airport, but it's 2 hours away. So let's add $150 to vacation and take our school supplies down to $350. Alright, so this should be $1506. Let's see what that adds up to. Okay, there's our $1506. So fingers crossed, if all this works right, we'll have a zero-based budget. So let's look at it here. Now, let me say, last year how I did our sinking funds is I separated it out using our annual budget planner, and I knew a specific amount every single pay period based off of the due date of when that bill was due. So I saved the exact same amount every single pay period. And honestly, guys, I just got a little bored, so I decided to change it up this year. How I did it last year is a fantastic way to do it. How I'm doing it this year is a great way to do it too. It's just, I like to change things up sometimes because I get a little bored. Okay, so let's add everything up in our totals column here. So our income totals are $22.46. For this one, $24.29. Oh, let me move that. $24.29 and $8.40. Alright, so our giving totals are $2.46. Oh, that's not 10%. I should have done $2.24. Oh well. $2.42, $2.42, and $8.84. And then our bills totals are $14.39, $3.75, $3.89, and 0. Cash envelopes totals are 0, $8.41, $8.41, and 0. Sinking funds totals are going to be, the total for week 2 that's going to be deposited is $487. Total for week 4 that's going to be deposited is $473. And then, what does that say? $546. Y'all can't even read my own handwriting sometimes. And then savings. So long-term savings goals is going to be for week 1, $561, $484, oh, that was week 2. Hi from England. Oh, I see. Hello. Ha, I love your screen name. Yeah. 561, 484, and 484 here, and then 210 there. Alright, let's see if everything zeroes out. So, 2246 minus 246 minus 1439 minus 561. Alright, so this one works. That one zeroes out. Then 2429 minus 2 minus 375 minus 841 minus 487. 44. Alright, that one zeroes out. Week 4, 249 minus 242 minus 389 minus 841 minus 473 minus 44. All right, one does. Y'all, this never works out the first time. 840 minus 84 minus 546 minus 210. Yay! Y'all, this never works out the first time. Okay. All right, so that's our budget for April. Now, questions. I thought since I was doing this live, I could open this up to questions and kind of, you can ask why we do things a certain way, or, you know, why we, you know, what we're changing. So does anybody have any questions? You don't, that's okay. All right. I don't have any questions this time. That's okay. All right, y'all are usually really good about asking me questions in the comments. So, I will do our cash stuffing video. The next video that's coming out is the Project Joy video after this one. Why can't I have a new car? Scott, you can't have a new car. You don't need a new car. You can have your air conditioner fixed, though, if you would like to have your air conditioner fixed. So anyway, the next video that's coming out is the Project Joy video, and then, so let me know in the comments below, what you might be interested in seeing. I need to go through all of my closet and pretty much junk everything in there because, well, not junk, but donate everything in there because I, am never going to be that size again. Even though I've been a small my whole life, it's never going to happen again, and I'm okay with that. COVID has, good morning from Greece. COVID has irrevocably, you know, like totally changed my shape. So I pretty much have nothing that fits me. So I'm going to have to go through my closet, and I'm going to go to a super small capsule wardrobe. So if you're interested in seeing how I set that up, I will be glad to show you. Just let me know in the comments below. And I'm super happy that y'all joined me for the live. I'm so sorry it was shaky in the beginning. I am going to try to fix that for next time, but, you know, filming in an RV is never the easiest. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. As always, it is a joy to have you in our lives and in our homes, and I will see you again next time.